Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yesterday, I was requested to react to the following video. This video is titled, Does Hijab Oppress These Muslim Women? It was posted by a channel called Jubilee. They have over 6 million subscribers, and this particular video already has well over 500,000 views. When I listened to this video, I realized that I cannot compile everything I want to say in just one reaction video. I think I'm going to have to make multiple reaction videos because there is so much going on here. There are so many different topics to discuss. But in this first reaction video, I want to take it from the very beginning. Let's try to think deeply and pay attention to what's actually happening here. Let's recognize that we are on the internet. We are on YouTube. Who's posting this stuff? Why are they posting it? Who is Jubilee? What is their agenda? What is their worldview? What is their foundational belief regarding Islam and the hijab period? Why did they title this video, Does Hijab Oppress These Muslim Women? Why is that the way to approach this topic? Why doesn't the title say the superiority of women who wear the hijab? Furthermore, who are these Muslim women who are in the video? Why are they in the video? And why were they asked to respond to these specific questions? If we really want to get a better understanding regarding what's going on in the world and what we're experiencing, we have to think deeply about all these questions. There is a context regarding what is happening here. So right in the beginning it says Middle Ground, Season 8, Episode 15, Muslim hijabi versus Muslim non-hijabi women. It says, a hijab is a head covering scarf that some Muslim women wear in public. For many such women, the hijab signifies both modesty and privacy. Vocabulary.com. So think about that. Defining hijab. Is that the proper way to define hijab? Do we go to vocabulary.com as Muslims to define what the hijab is? Is this accurate? And then we are introduced to these Muslim sisters. There's 6 of them. 3 wear the hijab, 3 do not. It says, we brought Muslim hijabi and Muslim non-hijabi women together to spark a dialogue about their religion, culture, and choices. So it begins with the 3 non-hijabi sisters introducing themselves as college students. As for the hijabi sisters, one introduces herself as a high school student, one introduces herself as a business analyst for a healthcare company, and the third hijabi sister, she introduces herself saying that she does a lot of journalism and fundraising and really random things on social media. And this video isn't meant to really focus in on these sisters personally, but rather I do think that they represent a portion of the Muslim community. I think they also represent how a lot of people feel in general, particularly in the West. So it's important to address some of these things so that we all benefit and get a better understanding regarding what's going on and think critically. The first thing I want to bring to our attention is how they all introduce themselves. 4 of them introduced themselves as students. The 5th sister, she introduced herself as a professional, a business analyst for a healthcare company. And the 6th sister, she introduced herself in a way that's sort of attached to a profession. However, none of these sisters introduced themselves as wives, as mothers. Now, I understand the sister in high school, perhaps she is too young to get married right now, but none of the other 5 women introduced themselves as a mother or a wife. They all seem to have gone through this Western education system. They all seem to have been born and raised in America. So there's no doubt the environment played a major role in them. And I know some of you are going to be offended. Well, what's wrong with them going to school and being educated and, being a professional? Well, we'll get to that inshallah. That's why this is going to need a couple of videos. We have to take into consideration who these people are. We should consider how their environment has affected them. So the way this works is they ask a question, and if you agree, you come and you take a seat. So the first prompt is, a hijabi woman is a better Muslim. So out of the 6 sisters, how many do you think agreed with that? Only 1. And even that 1 seemed hesitant. She even expressed shock that she agreed with the prompt and she sat down. Oh, and by the way, this sister does not wear hijab. So only one out of the 6 sisters agreed with the prompt, and the one who agreed didn't wear hijab herself. So basically after this, all the sisters came together and they shared their different perspectives regarding this topic. And this is what I want to focus on in this first reaction video. All of us who have been born and raised in the West, we went through the education system, we've been influenced by social media, by the environment around us. It's had such a devastating effect. The first thing I want to focus on is the idea that all of us can just speak freely about anything. This society so heavily promotes the liberal idea of freedom and just being able to say whatever you want, freedom of speech, give your opinion, this postmodern concept of everything being subjective. Well, to me, when it comes to Allah and Islam and the hijab, I feel this way. Oh, well, I feel another way. The one thing I want to get through to everybody in this first video is that it is forbidden that you say about Allah that which you do not know. This is prohibited. Allah tells us in the Quran that He has forbidden that you say about Allah that which you do not know. We have to stop acting like we can speak about Allah and we can speak about Islam the same way we talk about our hobbies or sports or fashion, where we just sit around and share our ideas or go on social media and say, I think this and I feel this way. When it comes to Allah, when it comes to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the revelation that was sent to us, these are sacred topics. We have to become comfortable with saying, I don't know. I'm not qualified to speak about this. We should refer to a person of knowledge, a scholar, somebody who is well versed in the Quran and Sunnah, who can speak about these things. A major goal of these people is to push the idea that nothing is sacred. We can say whatever we want about whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want. And if you're against that, you're oppressive and you're evil and you're bad. Well, if somebody wants to adhere to that philosophy, they're free to believe whatever they want to believe. But we're speaking about Muslims. We're speaking about Islam. These 6 sisters are Muslim. My audience is largely Muslim. From our perspective, from an Islamic perspective, speaking about Allah without knowledge, that is unjust. Why do people think they can make stuff up about the Lord of all that exists, the one that is perfect above all else, eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful, the one that created us, the one that sustains us? Why do people think that they can just say anything they want about Allah, to share false information because they're not educated? They're just going off of their whims and conjecture. Why do people feel that not only that's okay, but that's correct? Allah tells us in the Quran, say, O Muhammad, my Lord has only forbidden immoralities, what is apparent of them and what is concealed, and sin and oppression without right, and that you associate with Allah that for which He has not sent down authority, and that you say about Allah that which you do not know. Wallahi, we should fear Allah when it comes to speaking about His religion. We should fear Allah when it comes to publicly speculating, I think Allah is like this. I think Allah would do this or that. I think the Sharia is this way or that way because of this, that, and the third. Brothers and sisters, we all need to understand what it is we're talking about. We're not talking about our favorite color. We're not talking about our favorite food. We're talking about Allah. We're talking about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the religion of Islam, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we're talking about. This is sacred information. And my intention is not to scold and be harsh, but rather I just want to bring attention to how important this is. There's no doubt this is something that we have been conditioned to just believe, that we can just talk about anything. And sure, there are certain things that you can talk about, even if you want to talk about your experiences, just things that you've been through. That's one thing. But when it comes to talking about the Quran, trying to interpret our deen, trying to speak on behalf of Allah, because that's what you're doing when you want to say that divine revelation is to be understood in this or that way. You are speaking on behalf of Allah, and Allah has forbidden that you say about Allah that which you do not know. If we implemented this one teaching, so many of our problems would be solved. Think about if this YouTube channel were run by knowledgeable practicing Muslims. If they wanted to discuss the hijab, who would they have on? Would they have 3 women who don't wear hijab and 3 women who do wear hijab but they're not scholars? And then ask them questions and present this topic as if the hijab is problematic? Is it unjust? Is it oppressive? Of course not. We would present it differently. We would have actual Muslim scholars on to speak about these topics with knowledge. But that's not the goal. That's not the agenda of these types of videos. So that is the first point I wanted to emphasize in reacting to this video. Inshallah, in the next video, we will continue. There are so many different things to discuss, subhanAllah. Until next time, Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah guide all of us to what's best and protect us. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.